So this is the basic idea of how it's going to look. You can see all the squares in there. Once we get it sanded and get it glued up and then planed down, it's going to look really neat. Okay, so I'm going to put on my gloves so I don't get my hands all gluey because I have a whole bunch of work to do today and I don't really feel like cleaning up a lot. We're going to start with 3 clamps. I've already got them spaced out to where I want them. We're going to brush on the glue. You don't need a whole lot, but you do want to cover the entire edge. Make sure that you flip them all the same direction. That way there's no confusion on your grain pattern. This glue is very strong. I use Type-On 3, which is 100% waterproof, and it is food grade quality. You want to make sure that the entire edge is coated. You don't need to really glob it on there. So if you're ever making a cutting board that requires glue ups, this is the only product that I know of that is FDA approved for food safety. Type-On 2 is water resistant, but that is not the same and when you want to do this, the glue ups, you want to work fairly swiftly. Be mindful that you only have a little bit of working time with this stuff. So you want to get it spread fairly quick and get everything clamped on. And then once you're clamped on, you can add all the rest of the clamps that you need to. And yes, I do like to do my glue ups on the floor. It's just comfortable for me. I have tables, but I prefer to do it this way. I don't know why exactly. I guess before there was a time that I did not have tables, and this was the only way I could do it, so I just got used to it. Notice how I'm coating the entire thing, making sure that there is no bare wood on here. But I'm not using a whole lot. You can still see through the glue. And since this is going to be kept inside anyway, you don't have to worry a whole lot about the glue getting brittle and coming apart, because it's not going to see any kind of weather agent. Okay, now it's time to clamp it down, and this is the part that scares me all the time when I do this, because I hardly ever get it on the first try where they're perfect on the edges, and that to me is the hardest part. So we're going to start by putting some pressure in the middle clamp. And we're going to make sure everything's nice and smooth. You might have to knock it around a little bit, or even loosen up your clamp just to get them to slide, because they do make a friction bond when they come together, and it makes things kind of hard to maneuver. So, going to get that. These first three are perfect. This one's right where it needs to be. Perfect. You can feel with your finger when you're flush. And that helps a lot. Right, last one. We're good. We're going to put pressure on this side because this is the side that we lined up. And we'll come to the outside. See how they just go right in together. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! That's okay. That's okay. We can fix that. It's not a big deal. That's not the first time I've had that happen. We will fix that. I'll show you how right now. Take your brush. You get some glue down in there. Push it flush. Spread that glue out. Spread that glue out nice. We're going to go back to clamping. We're not going to clamp this entirely tight yet now because of that break. Make sure these are still flush. I'm going to grab one more clamp for across there. See how that squeezes right together? You can't even tell that break happened. Okay. And right back. I'm going to add a little more glue right here right to this corner because that's got a bit of a gap. It's warped a little overnight. Don't like using this much glue, but I need it to hold under the pressure release when we let this go in a few hours. Rub that glue in. Everybody has a different way of doing this. They might yell at me for the way that I do it, but it works for me. Rub the rest of that glue right down. Looks like we have a break we're going to have to take care of when this is dry. I'm not going to touch it right now, but I'm going to put glue in that crack and we'll clamp this whole thing back together. This happens sometimes. I buy refused wood that doesn't go to the actual lumber yards. It's cheaper and I have the means to mill it, so it saves me a little bit of money and it saves my customers a little bit of money. It doesn't always save time, and sometimes you do have to work with what you got and fix some things, but all in all, can't complain. Now the bottom side of this is very smooth, and that's what I care about. I don't care so much about this side because once we get it flipped over and into the actual case, only the top matters. So we're going to let this dry for about 4 to 6 hours, and we'll come back and play with it then.